What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk to you about SoundHound. I want to go over some of the data points, what's moving, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoundHound is up 0.22%, 1801 the low, 1862 the high. So you're seeing a lot of volatility, although you're seeing fairly low volume. So 7.3 million shares being traded, 59 is the average. So you're seeing a mix, seeing some optimism associated to companies putting out their earnings. So a lot of kick-ass earnings coming out, but you're seeing also some hesitation for tomorrow. So tomorrow's a big day because we potentially could be getting a 25 basis point cut. And logically, I think the market's already priced that in. But oddly enough, you do see a lot of bears just saying that because of the whole shutdown, there hasn't been that much true data for Powell to say, hey, yeah, we need a cut. So you're seeing a little bit of hesitation. And to be fully honest, if technically Powell does not cut tomorrow 25 basis points, then you're going to see the market freak the hell out. Today there hasn't been any news from SoundHound. They did put out news yesterday, which was rather interesting, more of an Easter egg on potentially what might be coming during their upcoming earnings, which is slated for November the 6th. But that news was this right here. So research finds 2 in 3 US banking executives believes agentic AI will change how the industry operates. So this isn't really specific to SoundHound exactly, just another one of their PRs that they do that is kind of just signaling that the sector or a sector is changing. But what is rather interesting is that this is now the second hint that they have given prior to their earnings about entering into a fintech type of sector or just the banking sector. So in general, if they do announce, let's say one of the old school brick and mortar banks, for instance, or another fintech, that would be huge, underline huge, for SoundHound, because if they get in, that's just an easy domino effect into kind of spreading across that whole sector. So SoundHound, that would be a massive catalyst for it. So potentially they might be bringing up that as far as future guidance on what they have for maybe some partnerships or something along those lines. At the time of doing this video, I don't believe that there's been anything officially announced. I think I've brought it up when they did their last hint, and someone said that I guess SoundHound through a third party deals with a city currently, but nothing direct. So that would be huge again for SoundHound. At the time doing this video, shorts are increasing 1.9 million shares, 28.7% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 105.3 million shares overall being shorted. Still does signal shorts are overextended, with DTC being at 1.7 days. And so factoring in that we're almost about 2 million shares, that's what shorts are increasing, and we are only seeing about 7.3 million right now. Shorts are kind of the culprit on why it is largely being suppressed. Looking at the options, 2.5 million in calls, 667,000 in puts, 46% of all the options being done are bullish in nature. Coming from the bull standpoint, you see consensus for it to be above 20. So definitely a lot of optimism. And if you think about it, if we do get that 25 basis point cut tomorrow, which I think we will, the market's just going to boom from there. And plus, we also do have a lot of big companies putting out their earnings, and that could really fuel the AI and tech sector even more than what has happened. And one thing I've brought up in the past is SoundHound does largely piggyback off of that hype because they haven't really put out too much in news. So a lot of their price action has been influenced by AI and just the broader hype. So in general, a lot of good optimism for that. Bears on the flip side are anticipating for it to be sub $17. So they're anticipating more of a further breakdown. These are some of the transactions occurring on the secondary market. So somewhat mixed. You have this is kind of the culprits why it did go down. So first one about 3.5 million. So that's what caused this push lower, which is rather interesting. I'm not really sure why someone would want to sell straight away, but nonetheless, it was bought up fairly fast, which is good to see. Aside from that, these are all the transactions occurring on the dark pool above $100,000. Big one being 1.7 million, 1.2 being the following one. Aside from that, with it at 1850, it is trading between these 2 points. So it's R1 and the pivot. 1961 and 1823 is going to be strong support and resistance points. I'm looking at the 4 hour chart right now. Moving over to the 1 day, you kind of see it flirting a little bit. So 1862 was the high, 1860 is that next strong target. So clearly we know that is a strong resistance. So best case scenario for today, it does close above 1860. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Aside from all of that fun stuff, quickly popping right over here on the actual chart, still technically below that 10-day moving average. So it's kind of going through a little bit of a consolidation, but potentially that could be kind of broken tomorrow. So if we do close above that 10-day moving average, you could see a nice continued push higher. Looking at the market position though for today, comparing it to yesterday, you see a lot more willing buyers. So even though you're not seeing that crazy of price action today, you're seeing a lot of kind of stronger walls. So that's good, very strong support going forward. And I'd much rather see that, a slow, nice improvement, rather than just a quick spike up, which is sexy to see. But I think the slow upward momentum is definitely a little bit more advantageous. There hasn't been all that much in articles really coming out associated to SoundHound whatsoever, but I think generally this upcoming earnings is going to be pretty on point for them. So let me know your thoughts on SoundHound. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? What's your kind of general thoughts on SoundHound? And when it comes to analyst ratings, I know we haven't had all that much. So last being October the 16th, September 11th, September the 9th. So it is still largely not on a lot of people's radar. What do you think will cause that? SoundHound's last earnings, when they had kick-ass earnings, it caused everything to really talk about SoundHound. You saw numerous articles really bringing it up. So at that stage, it was kind of hot for the most part, but clearly since then, I think it fell out of favor. So what do you think would cause people to really start talking about SoundHound and stay talking about it, similar to NVIDIA? Because SoundHound, if you think about it, is having some pretty solid growth, or at least anticipated growth. So quickly popping back over here, talking about their earnings, looking at the quarterly side. So you do see going forward, aside from this upcoming one, you see solid double-digit growth, year-over-year growth. Same goes for revenue. Even this upcoming one, about 61.31%. And that's based on 40.48 million, then 55.43. So solid double-digit growth is anticipated all the way up until Q4 2027. And so yeah, let me know your viewpoint on that. To me, I think this is a home run, but clearly there's a certain level of hesitation, and this is why shorts do what they do. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.